Good evening. It's a lovely Friday, the 14th of October, and as usual, every Friday we bring to you a program which we call Ubuntu Sports, and we are live to review a lot of things that has been happening in the sports department or discipline here in Zambia. We'll be talking about the COSAFA Under-20 that is ongoing in South Africa, and we'll be talking about the issue for Mwepu. We are told that Mwepu has been forced to retire at the age of 24. What do you have to say over that? And the Ubuntu analyst will be joining me to discuss everything concerning the Mwepu issue. Our lovely viewers, as usual, Ubuntu channel is an online platform that bring to you different programs. And on set tonight, I'm joined by Lamek, and I'll be joined by Lawrence and a new guest or a new analyst on Ubuntu, Mr. Nyondo. Good evening, Lawrence. Welcome to Ubuntu Sports.
Good evening, Ruben. Good evening to my fellow panelists and to the viewers out there. Thank you so much for having us.
Indeed. Lamek, good evening. Welcome to Ubuntu Sports.
Good evening, Ruben, and good evening, Mr. Kafuilo. Good evening, Lawrence, and it's a pleasure featuring on Ubuntu channel.
Gents, we've got Mr. Nyondo joining us for his depart. I think it's a thumbs up to Mr. Nyondo. Mr. Nyondo, good evening. Welcome to Ubuntu Sports.
And good evening, all the panelists and lovers of the sport, in particular football and football in Zambia. Thank you very much for the welcome.
Thanks. Let's go to the eastern part of Zambia. Mr. Abia, good evening and welcome to Ubuntu Sports as well.
Good evening. Thank you so much for coming me. How are you, Mr. Ramek, Mr. Lawrence, and Mr. Kafwira Nyondo, and you, Ruben?
All right, I'm fine, Abia, and to our viewers, don't forget to share this broadcast and also like the page. Tag as many people as you can. Tell them that Ubuntu Sports is live. Gents, let's go into it right now. Let's start with the Under-20 COSAFA tournament taking place in Eswatini. Zambia is doing fine, and we've qualified not just to the COSAFA final, but we are going to the AFCON Under-20. Lamek, let me start with you.
It's been a great tournament for the team. If you look at the team again, it's a team that was assembled. It did not take a lot of time to assemble the team, and the team hasn't been together for a long time. So these are new players that are playing with each other. Others are playing with each other for the first time. Like Kingston Mutandwa is joining the Under-20 for the first time. We have Joseph Sabobo Banda, who's been in the national team ranks, but Under-20, this is his first tournament at the Under-20 level. And then we have in defense of defenders such as Happy Nsiku from Red Arrows, who are playing their first tournament at Under-20. We have Jeban Tembo and Go, who's playing his first COSAFA tournament for the national team. So it's a very young team. And then looking at the overall display of the team, it just shows how well Chisimbewe worked with youngsters. And then he's been able to deliver a message to the boys to keep fighting for the team and cover up for each other, play as a unit, defend as a unit, attack as a unit, something that we've seen Red Arrows do. And then it paid off today. We were down in the early stages of the match, but we managed to fight back and then managed to pull level, and then went on to win the match via post-match penalties. For me, I think there's a lot of positives in this team. And going forward, I think Faz has actually done well to actually assemble a technical bench of different local coaches. If you look at the Under-20, we have Tisimbewe, who's the head. We have Dono Oyobe from Kansanshi Dynamos. We have the guy, I forgot his original name, but he was a former City of Lusaka coach. He comes in on the bench. That also tells us the wealth of knowledge that Faz is willing to put in on the local benches and how serious they are taking youth football in the country. So going forward, these are results that we want. We now start focusing on the Africa Cup. This is a stepping stone for the team. We need to gel more for the team, and then organize some high-level friendlies before the Africa Cup and actually go there and try to win it again.
All right, let me shift the attention to Mr. Nyondo. Mr. Nyondo, I'm sure you've been also following the tournament. How has it been for you? Sorry, we can't hear him, Mr. Nyondo, just unmuted.
Okay, I hope I'm audible now.
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you very much, Ruben, and thank you very much to the panelists. I know we cannot take it for granted that we are analyzing sport and without taking cognizance of the fact that we have all the other businesses that we are doing. It's a rich tournament, like Lamek alluded to. We have performed well so far, and if you look at players that have been assembled, in defense you have Gift Mpande, who is coming from Atletico Lusaka. You have Majapa coming from Atletico as well. We have Julius Kumenda coming from Atletico. So you can see that these players have been playing together for some time. It helps the team in terms of coordination, and it's easier even for the technical bench to orchestrate a formula that will work. I know that we have players who have been with the under system, like Joseph Sabobo Banda. He was the captain and was playing for under 17. Now he has graduated to under 20, and you know that 2 seasons ago he was also playing for Atletico Lusaka. You can see already you have 3, 4, 5 players, including Kingston, coming from the same team. So this helps a lot in terms of gelling and also coordination. I know Lamek talked about the period. Of course, the period was short, but the insight that I've given could be one of the parameters that have assisted the team to play well and to play at the level that they are. It's a rich tournament. It's a rich tournament. Borrowing from what Lamek submitted, you can see how all the teams are ready to put their hands onto the trophy. The game that we played, which ended in a 1-1 draw and ended up going in our favor through penalty shootout. It's already a snapshot of how rich the tournament is and how all the teams prepared for this tournament and how eager they want to go to the Africa Cup. An Africa Cup is a great showpiece for the players, for the country, and for management that are into football. Basically, that's my submission. I hope the other analysts can chip in as you deliberate, Ruben. Thank you.
Let me go to Lawrence before I come to you, Mr. Abia. Lawrence, we are through to the COSAFA final to be played on Sunday.
Yeah, great tournament by the Zambia under 20. They have really performed very well, and the tournament in general has been a great competition. It's one of those competitions in COSAFA where some surprises have been shown. For example, we consider South Africa to be one of the favorites in all levels of this game when it comes to COSAFA, and here they are. They had to miss out on the final, and they're playing 3rd and 4th. It shows that there was some sort of readiness and preparedness from all teams that participated in this tournament. And Zambia reaching the final was not a mere accident or whatsoever. I think there was great performance by the boys. Now, I always take pleasure when I see our teams qualify to continental and intercontinental showpieces like that, and to see this team actually qualify to the Africa Cup under-20 to be played in Egypt is actually a plus for us, because remember, it's a tournament that we won in 2017, and would be happy to have it again if things go our way. And I'm also delighted at the fact that the hosts themselves, Eswatini, I think have really been magnificent when it comes to hosting, because it's been something that South Africa has done over and over and over, and I think for a change, another country has chipped in, and we should take pleasure in that and encourage more and more to come through and host such tournaments. It would really help, and it would actually help in the infrastructure development for the COSAFA region. It's high time we removed so much pressure on the shoulders of South Africa, who are forced to host most of the continental, for most of the COSAFA tournaments, and for a change, I'm really impressed that Eswatini has done that. And we hope to see more other countries do the same. If like Zambia did, like Zambia hosted the Africa Cup for under-20 in the recent past. So we hope to see more and more countries come through and host such kind of tournament. Also, yeah, I think that's what I would submit for now.
Mr. Abia Chintuchabuno Maningu, we've qualified to the under-20 AFCON. How has been the tournament for you so far?
Yes, indeed. Chintu Chabuno Maningi kufika ku final. Yeah. First of all, I will agree with Lawrence to say today's tournament, or this year's tournament of COSAFA, has really showcased many people, because we usually count South Africa versus Zambia. South Africa versus Zambia. But right now, you can see that there is competition in the region. When Zambia is facing Botswana, don't expect a simple match, but a tough one. When Zambia is playing Angola like today, we always underrate these guys and Angola side. But today, they have shown that they are in the competition also. And when you talk about Malawi, they beat South Africa. You see that? That is a surprising result, you know. They beat South Africa by 2. You see that? So this competition is bringing us football in the southern region as strong and strong. So congratulations to the Zambia. It's not easy to qualify to the final with these tough neighbors such as Mozambique, Angola, and now Mozambique. You know, Mozambique is a very good side. Beating South Africa 2-1. I watched that game. It was a tough one, but they really show the resilience that they have and the problem that they can cause. So you are talking about our Chiporoboro. I missed the game, though I find the game in the penalty shootout. But after watching some highlights at Ubuntu, I have seen the fight that the guys have put in. Like Lamek has said earlier on, to say we were down by a goal to nil. The guys fought back, you know, and we found the goal. It's just that you can't find we didn't find the winning goal. So I think I can see the fighting spirit that the guys they have. So it's Chintuchabuno Maningi kufika ku final, because I can see the national team raises up a starter in 2012, and the under-20 also Africa Cup in the 20, I think it's 2018 or 2020, somewhere like that. The girls, they have big competition now. Yeah, so this is really, we are happy for the team that the only grassroots we have is this one. When you are doing well at under-20, you expect to do well at under-23 and at national level.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Let me twist this conversation a bit. I know we are happy that Zambia has qualified to the Africa Cup and also have made it into the under-20 COSAFA at the expense of the coach for Red Arrows. So do you agree with me now that Arrows are playing games without their head coach, who is in charge of the under-20 national team? Lamek, I can see you're smiling over this. You can go first.
That's a tough one. But okay, we need to go back again to the availability of qualified coaches who can coach at the higher level. That is also the question mark. Do we have coaches that are unattached that can go and coach at the higher level? That is a question that needs like serious answers. And the answer right now is that a lot of our CAF A coaches are attached to teams, others locally and others international. Yes, it's difficult to manage two teams, your club, and then also manage the national team. But look at Red Arrows. Red Arrows have two coaches. One CAF A holder coach, also at Mutapa, who has also been given the head coach role at the under 23 and has been spending more time with the under 23 this week because he's preparing them for a friendly against Uganda on Tuesday. And then they're also preparing for qualifiers against Sierra Leone, if I'm not mistaken. So yes, it leaves Red Arrows in a bad state because they may not have two of their top coaches. But for the nation, again, we need to provide that continuity in our grassroots, because if we don't provide the continuity in the grassroots, our national team will suffer in the long run. And the only way we can do that is source for the best available coaches and give them those roles. Yes, it's not a congested calendar. It could have been congested if Red Arrows was playing in the CAF Champions League or Confederation Cup. But Red Arrows only have the league to focus on right now. So I feel it's fair enough that we can get TC from Arrows and then give him those games. Looking at in respect to Red Arrows, yes, they may need their coach available because they may want to defend their title, but you need to take one for the team. At times, you need to take one for the team, and this is the time. And we hope in the next 5-10 years we can see more coaches getting higher badges so that some of these jobs may be permanently given to coaches who are unattached to clubs. But at this particular time, this is our only go-to area, and we have the only solution is to take our coaches to go and seek higher qualifications. But for now, we have nowhere to run to but to go to these clubs and find a meeting point with these clubs and then have discussions around their coaches. And yeah, like for Zesco last season, Zesco had problems letting go of their coach Mamba for national duty. We saw based on Chambeshi sitting alone on the bench when we were told that Numba would also be available. But it was understandable. This were under pressure and were underperforming. But for me, I feel it's right for TC to serve the national team. And then with time, the mantle will be given to other coaches that will get more qualifications. And you can see the route that Paz is taking. We saw CAFC courses being held by Zambia, CAFB courses being held by Zambia. That's a positive. I just hope going forward we can also have CAF A coaches so that we may have even 30 more coaches getting CAF A. That can be very good positive if we have at least 20 coaches qualifying with CAF A badges.
All right, Lawrence, let me also give you this platform also to offer your opinion on this issue. Should Arrows lose tomorrow, they will blame that we don't have the coach.
No, I think, gentlemen, let's look at things the way they are. It's very important that we always look at things and say them as they are. Why doesn't Faz contract a coach permanently for the under 20? Because remember the stories that we are getting already, even for the women's national team, is that Coach Bruce doesn't even have a contract. We've heard those stories. I don't know how genuine they are, how true they are, but at the end of the day, it's like we are living in a situation where we want to be using coaches on part-time basis where they are paid on pro rata basis or something like that. It's better the under 20.
Can I answer that question for you?
Yeah.
Yes, Lamin.
Yeah. So when we look at FAS, one thing we need to put into perspective before we even start shooting at FAS is the fact that how much resource does FAS have? That's the first question. And who funds the junior national team? So the government goes on to fund the senior national team. The coach, they pay winning bonuses for the national team. But who pays bonuses for the under 23s?
I
the
love
women's
that
team?
thought.
No, like I'm just being realistic because
I really love that thought. I really do love that thought. But
let's give Lamek to finish up. Then I'll give it back.
So FAS is resource limited. It doesn't have major sponsors. The only two sponsors that are there, we have Black Label. We also have MTN, but their sponsorships are mainly for the national team and also the senior national team. So that leaves FAS in a very tricky position because if FAS had more sponsors, these teams would have had their own coaches. How much does it cost to get a good coach? Just because it's under 20 doesn't mean that we can just get any other coach out there. We need to get the best coach because that coach will be, he will be responsible for, for making our future stars. So we can't give it to anybody. And you know how much money, good coaches cost nowadays. So that is also another question that we need to. The corporate world hasn't, really taken up that bigger role in sponsoring football in Zambia over the last few years. Look at Nigeria; they have Guinness, they have other sponsors that sponsor some of their teams. You understand? That also talks about how much money the association has, but for FAS, who else is sponsoring FAS so that they may manage these junior teams? That is, for me, that is where the argument should be. Because if we're going to talk about FAS hiring a coach for the under 20, we also need to talk about the financial strength of FAS. For me, I feel FAS do not have that much financial power because of the fact that they haven't been able to lure bigger sponsors to sponsor them as an individual institution, sponsors for FAS, so that FAS, whenever they get sponsorship money, they can direct it to areas of need. The women's under 20, women's under 17, Zambia under 17, Zambia under 15, that is where the money can be channeled. But FAS has been doing their level best without the sponsors in trying to make sure that all these junior teams are well put together, they are well dressed, they are well lodged, they have well traveling, they travel well and on time. Yes.
All right. Can I come in now? Yes, yeah. Thank you. I'm not trying to throw shade on FAS. No, I'm not trying to do that. But I'm trying to emphasize on the need for this to be in place. We need to be in a situation where each of our teams has their own coach. We cannot be borrowing coaches or every now and then. So if this team has a friendly, let's say maybe 2 weeks from now, Red Arrows again will stay without a coach. We should not go on like this. What I would love to see is we have a technical bench for the under 23 working throughout, identifying talent that fits in that age group, so that we have that kind of continuity throughout and throughout. You just mentioned earlier on that this team was just recently assembled. You mentioned this, Lamek. This team was recently assembled. We are at a stage where we have to assemble a team when there is need be. Including a coach has to be assembled and organized when there is need. This is where we are now. But going forward, it would be prudent and very good if we can be in a situation where we have a technical bench working throughout, touring province and province and province, identifying talent that fits in each of these. Let's talk of under 15, under 17, under 20, under 23, looking for talent that fits in these age groups. Yeah, probably you are right. Maybe financially, FAS is not all that well to do. Fine, maybe we excuse them on that basis. But this should be something that our bosses at FAS there should be planning on and pushing so hard for. You know, I think the time that the under-20 won the Africa Cup in 2017, that's a period when everybody got to know about this team. We started seeing even some of these members of the team showing up for adverts, showing up in many commercial portraits and all that. I've seen I started seeing the parts on Dakas, the fashion sakalas on billboards and all that. It shows that even the commercial world recognize the potential in that team. And from 2017, I don't know, somehow that name that they made started coming down, probably because we started incorporating some of those stars into the national team and skipping even the under 23. We pushed them straight into the senior team. Maybe that's where we skipped a step or something like that. But at the end of the day, if this team is going to the Africa Cup of Nations, trust me, even the commercial world is seeing this. They know these are turning into celebrities, and that is where now the interest comes, because the business world will not put money just for the sake of putting money. They want to be recognized. They want to their brands to be visible. So the visibility of the brand depends on how well the team is performing and how much attention they are drawing in the country. So if they are to draw so much attention, we need to make sure that this team is actually right there every time we're seeing it, every now and then, and not just assembling a team every time there is need. It's like a team of convenience, and that is where I tend to disagree. I submit.
Thanks. Mr. Nyondo, I know you want to come in as well. Before I allow next because of time, Mr. Nyondo, come in as well. Want to hear from you.
Okay, all right. Okay, thanks, Ruben, and thanks to dear panelists. I know the debates of football are so diverse, and that's why Lamek was looking at the money issue. Lawrence has a point in terms of we need a standard and so on and so forth. Dear colleagues, these things are important, and for me, it's a blessing that we are talking about a sport that is dearly loved by Zambians and ourselves. Lamek, you have a point. FAS does not have the money to do what is right, but of course, Lawrence's point cannot be ignored. We need a standard. We need to have, regardless of whether we have money or not, we need to have a standard. And what is the standard? At whatever level of football participation, we must have office bearers who are permanently in charge and are held responsible. Otherwise, it's neither here nor there. When you have, today you have this one taking care of the players, they bring in their interest. Tomorrow you have this one coming in, they start taking care of the interest. So the point or the take home there is that we must, like Lawrence said, we must have a standard. And what is the standard? We must have a structure which defines who is supposed to manage the under-20, who is supposed to manage the under-23, who is supposed to manage all these other levels. And these people must be permanently in those positions. You can give them a contract for 3 years, 5 years, and they must deliver, and you hold them accountable. At the moment, gentlemen and dear listeners, we have a huge challenge. And the challenge that we have is that because we do not have anybody to hold accountable, it becomes extremely difficult, even, first of all, to audit our performance, because you have a situation where you have 10 coaches within a period of 12 months, which is unfortunate. And right now, and it's something that Lawrence talked about, where we are supposed to develop continuity in the players. We had the under-20 winning Africa Cup in 2017, and just a few, only those that went to Europe are the ones that we are talking about. You're talking about Edward Chirufya, Enoch Mwepu, Patson Daka, Emmanuel Banda, just a few. What about the others? Because the team comprises of more than 25 players. Where are the others? So the only way we can account for all these players and continuity is when we have permanency, when we have people that are accountable within the structures of the people that are accountable, who have managers. They'll have to manage these players. You know, colleagues, that most of these players are drawn from different backgrounds. When they rise to fame, that's the end. They rise to fame instead of utilizing the fame now kills them, and that's the end of them. So all these things, gentlemen, are key, and it is important that at Football House, they develop a structure. We may not have the money, but we must have a structure, a standard, that a blueprint that is going to show that this is what we would want football to be run. Otherwise, it will be very difficult. It is very difficult, and very right observations that colleagues you have made. We need to find money. I know Lameck wants to come in. I wanted to just point one thing. We need to find money. One of the initiatives, the girls national team did very well at the Africa Cup. I was expecting that Football House was going to come up with even a gala night or meet the girls, where we invite the corporate world to come on board and to be part of this event. And that's the only way you can start networking and bringing in people, selling the interest. Okay, the interest that we have as who are in football management, the interest that we have to bring on board the corporate world. Otherwise, if we just sit and say, okay, they are going to come, or we want money, we are opening our arms that you give us money, it may be tricky. What we need are ideas that will allow the corporate world to feel that they are needed, and to feel that they can contribute. I submit. I know Lameck wanted to say something. Over to you, Ruben.
So over one point that actually caught my attention, when you talked about continuity.
You need to be quick, Lameck. Time is not with us.
Yeah. So when we talk about continuity in the junior team, it is one of the hardest things that you ever achieve as an association, especially in Zambia. It be the Kamanga administration or any other administration that would have been running football at the moment, they would have found that very difficult, because continuity of narrative does not depend on first or the coach that is there or anything like that. Continuity at junior level depends on how many clubs that you have producing players. You understand? How many Atletico Lusaka clubs or standard clubs that are at the standard of Atletico Lusaka or Shamuel Academy or Chiparamba back in the day, the Lusaka Youth back in the day, how many clubs are producing players? That is where the key comes in. Because if we talk about continuity, we also need to factor in that our grassroots right now are in a very bad state. That also talks about the sponsors. How many people are willing to sponsor the junior team? So if we don't have that many teams producing players for the junior team, it becomes difficult. Because if you go to clubs such as Young Power, Young Kana, Young Forest, these are clubs that have the resources to do what? To raise these young boys. But you would find that in the age group of under 17, under 20, you may not find one player, or even you may not even find a single player that can fit in the under 20 or under 17. You may, if you're lucky, you may find one player maybe at Young Ghana or maybe Young Power. But over the years, we had the national team selectors looking at these clubs, and they did not find players to fit in. So they had to go and look for players elsewhere. Yes, the teams are being dominated by clubs such as Samuel, Atletico, because these are clubs that are doing the right thing. And then these players that are being included are not Lusaka born and bred. Look at Kingston. Kingston is a boy that grew up from Central Province, but was bought by Atletico Lusaka, brought to Lusaka. But because he's coming under the umbrella of Atletico Lusaka, people criticize that, oh no, favoritism. We are not speaking. We're not being the selectors are just choosing from two regions. But we also need to know that where are these players coming from. So I submit on that one.
Thank you very much, Dent. Let's take a short break. Then, when you come back, we'll start looking at the fixtures that will be played starting tomorrow up to Sunday. Let's go on a break. All right, welcome back. This is Ubuntu channel.
Globally, 85% of infertility is because of infections, typically the chlamydia and the gonorrhea.
Your time is up. Thank you so much.
Since I've been mentioned, I can react to what comments Chinda just
Yes.
said.
I haven't finished my point.
Remember,
Let me finish my point so that my brother can.
Does the Patriotic Front know the kind of damage they have done to our economy and to our country? I do not.
The alleged abduction of Pamela Kisupa, and this case has really kept us on our toes. And in as much as
nobody has been acquitted from this new dawn administration cases that have been started. There's nobody that has been acquitted. Okay?
CJ, foreplay. I'm not talking about jump and begin acting like a kangaroo. No, foreplay. Many of us as Africans, we lack this virtue. This is not there.
Yeah, the time twaje ku Malabo. What's about the first game twale tena wa Senegal. I think very tutasana underrated because even the warm up, you can see the way they are doing warm up. Bare munagati bona na bawina kale nyobo.
It's actually good if you start creating competition in the team. If you don't create competition, then you will have a problem who to replace when one is injured.
I think the names people have been calling me, I accepted them and I welcomed them. But what I would prefer being called as a nickname, I would prefer being called Sambalung.
All right, good evening. So we are back again. We are bringing to you Ubuntu Sports, and I'm joined with a lot of analysts tonight. Lamek, Lawrence, Abia, and Mr. Nyondo. We're talking about everything to do with football here in Zambia. And now, gents, it's time to talk about the fixtures. But before that, last week there was a letter at a press statement at Green Eagles saying that Agre Chiengi has been sent on administrative leave. Administrative leave in Zambian football most of the time turns out to be that he's been fired. Lamek, is this something that is different this time around?
It may be a different situation because it has one little detail. It has the duration of the leave. He was told that you'll go on leave 30 days. So the time is running out, every day counts. And then in these 30 days, the team has been handed over to Alex Namazawa. One thing you need to note is that Alex Namazawa now holds a CAF A license. So he may be ready to, if he gets results going his way, he may be ready to take over the mantle from Agre Chiangi, but I'm sure Green Eagles are very reluctant to let Agre Chiangi go. They may send him on leave, maybe to just improve results, but letting him go, I doubt that, because this is a coach that they had they had serious discussions at the start of the season, because clubs such as Zanaco, you know, in the past seasons we had Zanaco, Power Dynamos all expressing interest for the coach, and the Green Eagles came out very boldly, and they were straight with him. Look, whatever these other clubs are giving you, we'll give you that, we'll match that. So that just talks about how much confidence they have in him. It's difficult. The results have come out very difficult for him at the start of the season, but I think the results are not so bad. He can turn this around. He knows what to do. He can turn this around. And then the other thing is that he also needs to reduce on the players he sent on loan. Because look, the players that he sent on loan are scoring at the teams they've gone to on loan. So he needs to bring some of the players. Look at players such as Gozon Mutale, top midfielder. He does not even need to struggle in that midfield. We have players such as Shadrach Mulungwe, who is now at Nkwazi. These are players that can very useful and can help the team. Lini Kamwikisa, one player who's getting finer with edge, he let him go. So that is another area that I feel he needs to work on. But I feel Green Eagles, for this one, it will be one of those rare cases where a coach goes on administrative leave and comes back.
All right. Mr. Nyondo, I know you are a Green Acres fan and want to hear it direct from you. Do you expect Agre Chiangi to bounce back from the administrative leave?
Yeah, thank you very much, Ruben. And I think Lamek has explained it very well. I know sometimes there are a lot of these technicalities in the language, the way an issue comes out in the public media, and also to those that get to hear the information about these specifics in football. Administrative leave can mean anything anyway. But of course, like Lamek said, there's a catch word there. There's a period. So the days, the clock is ticking. Wait for that period that has been advised. But football, I mean, just to borrow from other leagues in the world, look at the way Liverpool is performing now. Can you quickly say no, the coach has failed or the coach should leave? No. Sometimes we need a bit of patience in terms of giving chance and allowing the coach to put the pieces together. Because remember, all the other teams are also training. All the other teams are also studying. You know, how best they can improve the team and how best they can get the results. So it's a situation where you planned in a certain way and then things don't go your way. But as a coach, because you are trained and you have the expertise, you are experienced, you know now how to make the adjustments. And for me, I think Agri is a good coach. He's done a lot. He's worked with a lot of players that are doing very well, even those that are on loan. What would be important is to give him chance. Of course, the leave is also good so that he can reflect, and also sometimes it's good to watch from the sidelines where you will be able to make adjustments with an independent mind, without the mind being under pressure of the results of the next game. We hope for the best, and I have faith and trust in the coach, including the caretaker coach now, Alex. Alex is also slowly building into a good coach. So I'm very optimistic, and I feel that the team will not disintegrate. But everybody else on the technical bench and those in administration work towards building the team and not destroying the team. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Let's dive into the fixtures, guys, shall we? The first game tomorrow.
Before we go into the fixtures, I'll put it on record. For me, I think Agri is gone. The fact that Alex has now pushed his license up to CAF A and has been given the team to be in charge of the team, I think this is where Alex kicks the ball rolling. This is the start of his career at the team. Mark my words. And let's not beat around the bush. Not beat around the bush. I think you have given an example of Liverpool. The team is misfiring, and you will never hear a team in the Premier League sending a coach on administrative leave. You will never hear of that. The moment they decide it's too much, they just send you packing. You are fired, and they put it in black and white. Chite has been fired. End of story. Here we quote things and say administrative leave. But even if there is a 30-day. We'll be here to talk about it, and we'll now be saying our farewells to Coach Agri. Because remember, before, I think a day or two before this letter came out, or this news came out, Agri was on the press briefing assuring the fans not to be worried because he's got things under control and he will turn things around. But just before he could even play the next game, he was sent to an administrative leave. For me, I was even wondering to say, okay, he ends up looking like he was talking to the public to give him time. Wow, the board or the bosses didn't hear that, and they sent him to go on leave. I don't think he's coming back. I don't think if especially if Alex starting from this weekend the results improve, why would they let him go and say no because that one was a leave, let him come back now when the results go well? Let's look at it in that one.
Thank you very much for the submission, Lawrence. We'll keep the recordings for this show because 30 days is running. That's like Lamek has submitted, and we're going to play this back and see who will be saying the truth. For now, gents, let's go into the fixtures. Early kickoff tomorrow. It's Green Buffaloes versus Nkwazi. It's the Zambia Army versus Zambia Police. Abia, let me start with you on this fixture.
Yeah, GBFC. Go boys and conquer. This is a team. Boys. Yeah, the Nyanta boys. I think GBFC has 90% of winning this game. The way I have seen them playing, they are playing very well, very good defensive, in midfield, very strong. Only striking has been a problem. But tomorrow, come what may, Green Buffaloes will carry the day.
Wow, Mr. Abi has put his head on the chopping board and is going for Green Buffaloes. Lamek, Shonga is back in the team for Nkwazi, and in this first game, he had to bang a brace. Do you think they're going to lose to Green Buffaloes?
The military derby is always a tough one. And then looking at both teams, Green Buffaloes don't have a permanent home. They play their games at Edwin Imboida, sometimes at Woodland, sometimes at Koloma, and all of that. Let me also talk about their failure to establish like good dominance when playing at home. Like for them, every match is like an away match. But going into this game, I think one thing that Masauso has brought into the Buffaloes team is the energy. So when you look at Masauso, I had the chance to watch him during his Musa days. He's not those highly tactical coaches, but he's one coach who gets the players believing. He'll tell the players that you can do it, you can fight, you can make that run even when you feel like you're tired. You can make that run. That's the energy that he's bringing in. So we have seen the tactical balance that Green Buffaloes have in defense, their transition in playing, and also their continuous running. They run to tire their opponent. Look at their game against Tinkana. They played really well and managed to pick a goal that they defended really well. So for Nkwazi have been going through a bad patch. Starting from last season up to this season, I still feel Makinga has not yet found a solution to get results going his way. I think he still has that struggle. In as much as Shonga has come in, he may not be an immediate impact into the ZSL. Yes, he scored 2 goals. We can't take anything away from him. He's done so much well in coming back home, but coming back and deciding a match as tough as the military derby, I feel the match is too big. And then for the match, I feel, yes, Green Buffaloes may win tomorrow, but it's going to be a tough one. It may just end maybe in a 1-0 victory for either side, but it's a really tough one. And I would gladly give it to Green Buffaloes. I feel they have they are superior in terms of the squad depth, the quality of the players that are there. I think Buffaloes stand a better chance of winning tomorrow.
All right. Thank you very much. Let's move on. Let's look at the next game after the Buffaloes game. That is Zanaco versus Lumwana. Zanaco, they've brought in a Nigerian in Amunike, but we're not seeing the difference. The results are still almost the same. Mr. Nyondo, I want to start with you. It's Zanaco versus Lumwana Radiants at Sunset Stadium. All right, it seems Mr. Nyondo seems to have a problem. Lawrence, you can take it up.
Okay, I think the mention of Mr. Munike and Co, because I think there are more than one Nigerians taking up some sort of consultancy role in the coaching staff or something like that. It's really something that I took with a pinch of salt, but anyway, the team feels it will help them develop and give their own coaching staff some sort of oversight and experience and all that. And maybe we give it a try, though. Like you have mentioned, the results have not shown yet. Maybe it will take time. Maybe it will take some bit of time, more time. I'm not sure. We are here to watch and see. But all the same, I think Zanaco on this one should pull this one. Should pull through with this one. Facing Lumwana, especially that the Northwesterners have to travel to Lusaka for this one. I think it's in favor of Zanaco. It's for Zanaco to lose this match. So I think it will be some sort of a slender win for Zanaco.
A slender with a new striker, Lamek. There is Inacho now at Zanaco. Did you think it will be fireworks for them?
Yeah, firstly, Amunike is a coach in waiting. We may see him being appointed as head coach in January when Kaindu's contracts run out. So we already know that Zanaco have informed him that they may not renew his contract. So Amunike is a coach in waiting. Over Zanaco versus Lumwana Radiant, it's going to be a tough match. Lumwana Radiant are not a pushover team. They managed to fight and end the point away at Cabo Warriors. Cabo Warriors are a team that beat Red Arrows in Cabo. They managed to pick a result there, something that Red Arrows failed to do. So that also talks about how much determined they are and how willing they are to fight. It's never going to be an easy match, but Zanaco being at home, they have that advantage of playing at home, but it's going to be a tough match, and Lumwana may just walk away with the 3 points, just like Changa Rangers did. It's possible. Anything is possible in football.
All right, Mr. Abia, I know you're a Nkana fan, and tomorrow you'll be in the Forest facing the Forest Rangers at Nkana Stadium. Again, your team is fighting relegation so early. Do you think tomorrow they might win against the Rangers, Forest Malembe?
Yeah, before I come to the Kalampa, let me just add on to the two comments from Lawrence and Ramek for Zanaco. They say Amunike. Amunike has just come in to the board. So let's give him time. the impact we cannot see the impact immediately. He's studying the team. He's still working on it. Let's give him time. Let me come to the Ghana, the Galampas. It's a really bad start for us. We are struggling indeed.
Yeah,
And
you are humbled by Musa. Sir Lawrence has got the bragging rights on this one.
I told you.
Lawrence, just clarify. Before I continue, just clarify. Are you still a Ghana fan or you are FC Musa fan right now? Just to clarify.
I think Musa gave me a call. I'm yet to pick up.
So you are not yet decided to say you are going to remain with Ghana or FC Musa. Okay. Now you are a supporter, not a fan. You are a supporter. Okay? You are not a fan, you are a supporter. So let me talk about Nkana now. Just keep quiet. Yeah. We are really struggling as Nkana to give results. But I know one day or the other, we will turn the tables around. Right now, we are
I hope it won't be too late.
No.
And you know what's happening, Ruben, in the Copper Belt? Right now, the Power Dynamos fans are busy mocking Nkana fans everywhere in any way. Actually, as things stand, there are some Power Dynamos Facebook pages that keep on taunting Nkana fans, and every time Nkana loses, they are the first ones to even update. Nkana is struggling this side.
Finish your thought, Abby.
The thing is this, Ruben, in each and every football game, both teams, they usually prepare for that game. You see? So winning is about how far you have prepared to that game. So right now, Nkana, the strength of winning is really little. You see that? Because we are struggling in defense. Just to give you an example, FC Musa, we are reading by a good news. Is it FC Musa? No, in Changa Rangers. We were reading with a goal. And now we stopped attacking and now defending and put on unnecessary drain tactics that resulted into an equalizing goal for Changa Rangers. That was really, really bad timing for Nkana. So we are struggling, yes, but we will turn the tables around. This is week 8. We are still searching our players. Next come January, we are going to add some few players there. But don't take away that Forest Rangers will just take that game and bury that game easily as that. No. Yes, we can lose tomorrow, especially for the team, the boasting team like Forest Rangers. They have beaten the big teams. Zanaco have suffered from the hands of Forest Rangers. Let's not take away from that. It's not only Zanaco who is struggling. Even Zesco United are struggling right now. It's the same with Zanaco and the same Zesco. They are struggling. So tomorrow's game is a really tough one for us. Tomorrow's game, we are really in trouble. Let's prepare. I think the best formation we can use for tomorrow is a 6-3-1 formation. 6 in defense. Thank you so much.
Okay, gents. Just a minute, Lamek. Just a minute, because we're still building up on the same kind of game. So there's Steve in the comments is saying even the goalkeeper for Nkana is weak. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I agree with that. As for me, as a Nkana fan, I agree with that. Because if a defense is ruthless, a goalkeeper will also be ruthless. So let's sharpen the defense. The goalkeeper will do his work.
Thanks. Lamek, do you think the keeper from Nkana is also a weakness? And we're also looking at a Forest Rangers that is also failing to score.
I don't agree with a lot of things that have been said by Abia. Look, For Nkana, I managed to watch Nkana over the weekend when they played against Musa. Nkana are playing beautiful football, but the only problem is the aggression. You understand? The aggression. We've always known Nkana to be very aggressive. They're a team that force you to concede. That is one thing that Nkana lacks. And then the other thing is that Nkana always plays with two wing players. Over the last few matches this season, they've played with one winger who's Patrick Gondwe, who has been playing on the wing. Look at the years back. They always had Fred Sutra Shimenga on the other side, Harrison Salah on the other side. But they're playing with one winger, making their attack. They're not so aggressive in attack. That is Nkana's problem. But for Forest Rangers, trust me, tomorrow will be celebrations for Nkana because everyone feels the pressure now. Even the players feel the pressure that they need to pick a positive result. The victory against Musa,
Abia, let's hear from Abia.
We struggled to beat Chambesha until we drew. We struggled with until we drew. Can we beat Forest Rangers tomorrow? Are you sure?
I'm 100% sure that Nkana will win tomorrow. Look at the loss against Musa was something that when you see the players after the match, after the whistle was blown, so the players instead of going out of the pitch, they first sat on the pitch. The coaches came in, and then something that we don't see Nkana doing. You know, they come in and everybody, the body language was the same with everyone. Together with the fans outside, and everyone understood that it was an unfortunate day that the team had done so much good work and had failed to pick a result. And going forward, it is just that reminder in the players' head that we've lost 4 matches, we cannot lose another match. Let's go and fight. And tomorrow is no any other day. Tomorrow, Nkana may be picking their second 3 points of the season. I'm very positive about that.
We'll see about that tomorrow.
Yeah, sure. Let's also give chance to Mr. Nyondo. We had lost you, Mr. Nyondo. Welcome back. We're talking about Nkana versus Forest Rangers game.
Yeah, thank you very much. Sorry that I lost my connection. I know now Zambian football is growing and there are a lot of interest, a lot of enthusiasm from all the teams. Nkana, I mean, I know Lamek is positive about tomorrow's game and Abia is saying no because Bora Iwa. So it's understood, you know. I've watched Nkana. It's just one of those periods, you know, one of those patches when just things are not, going your way. I don't think they're a bad team. Lamek talked about the philosophy. You know, over the years, Nkana has been playing aggressive football. You have 3-4 players attacking. Now you are only attacking from one end, and that seems to be working against the philosophy of the team. One thing that I would want to remind us is that every team has a philosophy, and at a point where you try and deviate from the philosophy, you find that things start going bad. And Lamek was right when he was saying, look, Nkana is only attacking from one side. What is happening with the other players according to the philosophy that we have or Nkana has as a team? So that aggression must come back, and also the coach must do more in terms of psyching the players, giving them the morale that they need, and also make them believe again that we're a big team, we're a big club. We can pick up from where we are and finish in a good position. It starts from now. They need to start laying a foundation now by start picking up points. For me, I think it's a point where now Nkana are saying, look, we have lost points and we haven't we have done a disservice to our supporters. We haven't come out as we ought to. This is an opportunity, and I think they're going to surprise many. They're going to surprise many of us who have already ruled them out. Being a big team and seeing what they've done before, the quality of players that they have, it's possible.
All right, Lamek, we need clarity. I know you are watching the game for Muza and Nkana. Just clarify for us. There were some rumors all over social media that again the Nkana fans had to attack the refs. Is that true?
That wasn't true. The ref was not attacked by either fans or the players at any given time. It was just another bad day. We may talk about the crowd, but not attacked on the ref. That did not happen.
All right, thank you very much for that. Another fixture that will be interesting is the log leaders, Prison Leopards, that will be facing Nchanga Rangers at Nchanga Stadium. Nchanga without fans, Lamek, because of that ban that they're facing, and they've appealed. They've not yet received the judgment over that. They're still waiting, which means tomorrow they won't have fans. And I've seen on their Facebook page telling fans to stay away and follow the proceedings on their Facebook page. Your comment, Lamek, over that fixture is Prison Leopards versus Nchanga Rangers.
It's a tough one for Nchanga Rangers, but one thing that I said on match day one, and I'll repeat it again, Nchanga Rangers need to start counting points. Forget about the wins and all of that. Start counting your points. How many points does it take to survive? Start counting that. And then draft which games you can win, which games you need to capitalize on. And if you finish in top 8, top 6, that should be a bonus. Don't be too overly ambitious. Just count your points from day one up to the end of the day. And then if you average 2 points per game, you end up finishing in the top 6, because you would actually get close to 70 points. For the match, Prison Leopards have come in very aggressively with Windamundia, a former Red Arrows man, who has been racking in goals in the last. He's the top scorer right now with 5 goals in the last 7 games. For Leopards, they went to Kalumbila and beat Constantia Dynamo. They traveled to Chingola to play a tough Nchanga Rangers team. Nchanga is not an easy team to beat. They're a tough one with their Congolese front trio giving problems to any defense. For Prison Leopards, they play with a back 5. So they may find it easy to defend, but I don't think they may leave Chingola without conceding. They may concede a goal, but the match may just end in a draw. I feel Prison Leopards may also score, and it may be a scoring draw, but I don't see Leopards losing. And for Nchanga, they need to do extra work to make sure that they pick people.
Thanks for that, Lamek. Gents, we need to go, but before we do that, I'll give you a minute each just to talk about the issue concerning Mwepu. He has been forced to retire at the age of 24 because of the heart condition. Let me start with you, Mr. Nyondo. How did you receive the news, and what's the word to Mwepu?
Thank you, Ruben. Very devastating news. We're at a level where things haven't worked well in terms of the senior national team, and now we are looking at building a team. We've already seen the talent. We've already seen that build up in terms of bringing in other players with what we have seen already. But when you are starting your foundation, and just at the foundation things are falling apart, it brings a sense of despair. But the only thing that we can say is everything happens for a reason. There's a reason why God has allowed this, and also that we must even be grateful that it has been detected. It has been detected without really having any bad effect. Remember, if this was not done, imagine if he was not in Europe, he was playing here in Africa, maybe it would have been a different story. It's sad news, and the only thing is we can only stand with Mwepu and encourage him that the sky is the limit, and also that the football family is big. He could join us in terms of analyzing the game. He can join other departments within football. But let me be quick to mention within that period that you've given me, Ruben, that I don't know how it worked for Nwanko Kanu. Had a similar issue, but he still played football. I don't know whether it is also the same or something similar to what happened to Ericsson. You saw he suffered the same heart condition while playing. So I don't know how severe Mwepu's issue is. It's only the physicians who can give the correct position or the correct statement. Otherwise, we can only wish him all the best. It's sad news for Zambian football. It's sad news for all of us. But at the same time, things happen for a reason. And for me, I'm actually happy that this was even detected, because now he will know how to take care of himself, and also those around him will know how to support and also assist him so that he can live and also assist in the game of football. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mr. Nyondo. Let's go to Mr. Abia. Your comment over the issue for Mwepu.
Yeah, I think Mwepu's issue was really disappointing. To see how age Mwepu is, 24, is really young, and the boy has no choice but to retire. Sometimes health issues, we need to accept it. It's an unexpected thing. So when it has happened, we need to accept it in order to prevent life to continue living. So I think the best thing that Mwepu has done is to follow the medical team that advises him to retire. Sometimes the energy that Mwepu has and that of the one that has mentioned from from here, from Africa. And I'm aware about Christian Eriksen's issue was cardiac arrest, where it's a disease where it only happened immediately. The blood stopped flowing in the body, and then you need to be taken to hospital immediately. And for Mwepu's issue is hereditary. It's different from that of Eriksen. So I think the medical team have seen that the right thing to do is for him to retire. There was no other way, according to that report. That's what I quoted there. So I think we need to accept it. Health conditions always sometimes can come in a condition where you can't even accept, but you have no choice but to accept it. So I think for Mwepu, the way he put it to say, I'll be involved in football, though not in the pitch, but here and there. That is a good advice, and that is a good point. I love it. But I only wish him all the best. And the thing that I can emphasize is the unity.
Sorry, Mr. Abia, your 1 minute is done. Let me go to Lawrence Stein Lamek.
Sorry. Thank you so much, Ruben. The news was really devastating for every soccer lover in the country, and the Brighton fans also. I think it was not good news at all. But at the end of the day, we should appreciate life more than the sport. We should also accept health conditions and look forward to seeing people live longer, unlike taking risks that might be very devastating to their health. So in this case, we salute Enoch Mwepu for everything that he has done for this country, for the pride that he has bestowed upon this country. He has introduced Zambian football in England together with Patson Daka, where they have shined there. They have played at high levels and consistently performed. It's something that the younger players back home should look forward to. Should look forward to doing something even better than what Mwepu has done. It's what we look forward to, and him coming back home is not so much bad news, because we sent an envoy as a country who went to England and represented us very well. We are proud of him. We are proud to call him one of us. We are proud to call him ours. And big ups to the medical team for having done this, having made this bold decision. Kudos, because we do not want to see the situations of Ericsson happening on the pitch, or the Fabrice Mwambas or anything like that. I think we should not go to those lengths before we can detect such. So I'm really proud of him personally, and I think speaking on behalf of many Zambians, we wish him all the best in his future endeavors. Thank you.
Thanks, Lamek. Summarize it for us.
For me, I received the news with great shock. I actually shed tears upon receiving the news. Mwepu represented so much hope for the nation. I would see Mwepu captaining the team at the AFCON, and seeing such a big career cut short was very devastating for me personally. And I pray for strength for him and the family. And then he's a big lad, a top professional lad, and he accepted the news, followed doctor's advice. And then the fact that his condition is hereditary just simply means, in layman's language, we may talk about genetics. It's not something that we may talk about the Ericsson case, because it runs in the genes. So we may treat today, but tomorrow it won't completely go away. So it has been good that it has been detected at a very early stage. And then the diagnosis has been kept very secretive, and it's because of the player who wants total privacy of his case. And this is what we as Zambians should give to him. Let's give him the privacy that he deserves, and let us support him in his endeavors. He's played the top professional football. So in a year, 2 years, with maybe the Belgian FA, the French FA, he may get a UEFA Pro license. The fact that he played top professional football, he may be a coach or be involved in any other part of sport. Sport is diverse. Football administration is big. Maybe a coach, maybe an agent, or whatever way he may still be part of football. But the best is it could have been more
analyst like you.
Yeah, he can even join Sky Sports, and it could have been devastating if we had a situation of like Bafetimbi Gomis, who fainted at Spurs during a league match, or maybe McVivian Foy, who went on to die. It was our Mwepu, I think it could have been more devastating. And the best is we wish him all the best and support him as he goes through this very difficult time. It's not easy for him. For me as a fan, and for the family, it's not easy, but we can only wish him the best and support him in the decision that he makes.
Thanks, Lamek. Guys, before we go, just on a lighter note, but this is serious, it's real news. The Zambian national team, the Zambia Drafts national team, has been denied entry into Georgia and sent back to Zambia. This is despite them having the visa and all the international documents. This was done because the immigration officers say the Georgian Drafts Federation is not informed about their coming. Yeah, so you can get all the news just on the page of Ubuntu. The news has been posted, and it has just happened just some few minutes ago. It sounds funny, but indeed it's true. They've been denied entry into the country to participate into the drafts tournament going on in Georgia. So tonight, that's where we end our edition of Ubuntu Sports. Join us again next week. I say thank you to Lamek, Mr. Nyondo, Lawrence, and Abia for coming through tonight. Next week, we'll send you a link so that you can also participate on this broadcast. But tonight, this is where we end this edition of Ubuntu Sports. Goodbye, and God bless you.